So we're here at Fire Station 72. This is a fire station that the city has been working on for a number of years. It started construction a couple of years ago. It's a very exciting fire station from a number of standpoints. One is just it's a very well-built fire station that is really focused on addressing Eastside Fire and Rescue's just needs and program needs. But in addition to that, it's also an extremely green fire station. It's arguably the greenest fire station in the United States. It's been designed to achieve LEED Platinum, and at this point it is the highest, by far the highest LEED Platinum, the highest scoring LEED Platinum fire station in the country. In addition to that, we've really put a big focus on energy efficiency with the station. So this station uses about 25% of the energy of a typical fire station. So Fire Station 72, one of the key technologies used in it to gain energy efficiency is what's called a ground source heat pump system. So this is a system there is a well field underground where water is pumped through, and the water comes up to the average ground temperature, which is about 51 degrees. That water is then pumped into the station and then heated from there. And so the station, rather than pumping or heating from the outdoor temperature, it's heating from about 51 degrees, which has obvious benefits. Then the heating system itself is a very, very efficient heat pump system, and then the heat is actually delivered in the floors through in-floor heating, which is a better and more efficient way to convey heat to the building than through ducting. So in addition to the ground source heat pump system, we also have a solar hot water system that sits up on the roof, collects energy from the sun, and that additional hot water is also pumped into the heating and hot water system to provide an extremely energy efficient heating and hot water system.
This station was designed to be low maintenance and easy to clean. And one of the things that we've found in studies is that fire stations tend to keep a lot of the germs that the firefighters bring back with them from calls. And when they've gone and done cultures on fire stations, they've found these organisms living in the facility with the firefighters. So we purposely built a station that has all fairly hard surfaces. You'll see no carpets, no fabrics, and those kind of things. And that's to keep the station as germ-free as possible and as easy to clean as possible. On the maintenance side, we did as many things as we could that would save the taxpayers dollars in long-term maintenance. This building is designed to stay at a certain temperature, kind of 24/7, and if they're feeling stuffy or whatever, they open a window, which is something that we used to do it in years past. Buildings became kind of self-sufficient that way, and you would just turn up the thermostat or whatever. And now if you need more airflow, we're going back to opening windows and doing those kind of things. We foresee it lasting 50 years, and looking at the growth of Issaquah and the growth of the surrounding area, though nobody ever knows, but its response area, this station should be able to handle any of the growth that's projected in this response area.
So in a maritime environment like in Washington State, the vast majority of the energy used in a light frame building like a fire station or a home is actually from the heating load. And so putting a lot of focus on the heating use in the building is really important. A very cost-effective way to do that is improve the actual envelope of the building, the outside skin where the insulation is. So we are insulating on this building the walls are about 50% more, have about 50% better insulation than a code home, and the amount of insulation on the roof is about twice what's required by code. One of the exciting features of Fire Station 72 is our solar array on the roof. So the building is tied to the electric grid, so it just takes energy off the electric grid like any building would do. But then in addition to that, we are producing energy through the solar panels that are on the roof. So during the summer, on a bright day, the building will actually be a net energy producer. Any supplemental energy that's created by the station that's not used in the station will be put back on the grid. And then in the winter time, where there's not as much sun, we'll be pulling energy off the grid. So it's an exciting feature of the project. The solar panels were actually built regionally in Hillsboro, Oregon. So it's just a real nice local feature that we have of the project. So Fire Station 72 also uses daylight in very precise ways. Daylight, obviously, if you can have daylight in the building, you can do with less lighting. On the other hand, if you have too many windows in the building, it actually means that you're going to lose energy through the windows because they're not as well insulated as the walls. So there's a trade-off there. During the design process, we really focused quite a bit on really pinpointing where we had daylighting in the building and making the most of our windows and skylights. The bays in particular, the truck bays in particular, are really nicely daylit because that was an area where the temperature was less critical, but the lighting was critical. We also, the windows in the fire station are triple paned windows, so that's another strategy we used for helping with the thermal envelope of the building. Throughout the building, fire station is a lot like a great big group house. There are appliances, there's a kitchen in there, there's a bunch of bathrooms, there's a laundry room. And so in all those places we used best-in-class appliances in terms of energy efficiency. One really interesting appliance that is in the building is an induction range top. So an induction range top is about 30% more efficient than a typical electric resistance range. It uses magnets to actually heat the pots, and so it's a more energy efficient way to cook. It's sort of similar in that way to a microwave oven. So all the lighting in the building are on vacancy sensors. So the firefighters, when they enter a room, will actually turn the lights on. And then when they leave, they can either turn them off, or if they don't turn them off, there's actually an automated system that turns them off a few minutes after they leave the room. In addition to that, we also have a set of plugs that are on that same vacancy sensor. So things like printers, things that you kind of tend to forget to turn off, will also automatically turn off. And so they have the choice of either a switched outlet or a non-switched outlet. So Fire Station 72 isn't just about energy. We've really tried to push the envelope in all aspects of green construction with the building. Behind me is an 8,700 gallon rain cistern. So that is actually collecting rain off the roof. So the entire roof actually flows to that cistern. And then that water in that cistern is used to both flush toilets, wash clothes, and then also to wash down the truck bays, which frequently are cleaned. One of the most basic things that we've tried to do is just construct the station for durability. Things like concrete floors throughout the station. There's no carpet, no floor tiles, those sorts of things, which tend to need to be replaced frequently. We tried to have as many finishes in the building that just won't really need to be replaced through the life of the building. We also, and this is a very innovative aspect of the station, we use more than 90% of the wood throughout the station. This is a wood-framed building. Is Forest Stewardship Council certified wood. That's a very high standard for making sure that the wood that's used comes from selectively harvested forests. So they're coming from forests that aren't clear-cut, where they're preserving streams and things like that during the logging process. So it's definitely a downstream impact of construction, and the FSC certification ensures that your wood is coming from a good source. So, and this building is actually one of the highest percentage FSC certified buildings in the country. So with the opening of Fire Station 72, with the opening of Z Home, and with the opening of the Swedish Regional Campus, Medical Campus, the city, amazingly, really has three in their class, the most energy efficient and greenest projects of their kind in the country. So it really puts Issaquah on the map as a center for green building and sustainable innovation.